Hey y'all, how you doing tonight? Welcome to another Thursday night, another Invisible No More. I am your host, Keith Johnson. Yeah, at least that's what I woke up this morning as, and that's what I've been called so far today. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I'm excited about tonight. We have a couple of guests lined up for tonight. Some of y'all will know these folks. Some of y'all will be the first time you've met them. Either way, they are incredible. They have become invaluable parts of my life, and I would encourage y'all to include them in your life as well. That they are really good. Tonight's topic, I feel that we've gotten kind of away from this topic in the last, I don't know, couple of months, and I'll shoulder the blame for it because we've done a lot of really cool things and talked about a lot of really cool topics, and we've learned about a whole lot of stuff. But you know, Invisible No More just comes back to you'll be seen, you'll be heard, you'll be loved, and you're not alone. You're not alone because of the community. The community that is Invisible No More. And the community that is Invisible No More is not anything that I have done. It's not anything that Amy has done. It's not anything that one person has done. It's what the community has done for itself. So tonight, the topic is community. Because see, sometimes we lose people, friends, coworkers, family members, partners, spouses, because they can't keep up with the pace that we're on now due to our diagnosis, or even if we don't have an official diagnosis to what's going on in our lives. They can't keep up and they don't understand. And so this big circle that we have of friends and family, our ride and dies as we continue to live with our diagnosis shrinks and it shrinks and it shrinks and it shrinks, right? It's like, you know, a lot of us, regardless of what causes us to be invisible, we don't feel seen in traditional spaces. That could be as simple as going to the grocery store when we're struggling and we're masking really heavy. From something as simple and boring as that as going to church. And our church members, our church family that we spent decades with, they don't understand either. So we lose that big community, not by something that we've done, but just something that our body is doing to us. And I'm sorry about the earbud here. We'll just lose that one. So it's not our fault that our body is misbehaving, right? But our body misbehaving is causing that circle to get smaller and smaller. We lose that community. And here's the thing. It's a universal struggle. Whether you have a diagnosis of a critical illness or a mental health issue or a chronic pain issue, or you're just struggling with mental health issues or chronic illnesses or chronic pain, and you haven't gotten that diagnosis yet, it's a universal struggle. And if it's a universal struggle, then the welcome and acceptance should be as well. And that's what we are here at Invisible. You'll hear me like on the lives on Thursday nights that we used to do on TikTok. You've always heard me preach no politics. No politics in the comments, no politics on the air. That's for a reason. Because when it comes down to it, and we'll get into it, our diagnoses, you'll hear me repeat this again later, our diagnoses are important to us. They're valid to us. They're if we can get one, it gives us everything, right? It gives us something to yell at, right? So it doesn't matter if you're red, blue, purple on politics. It doesn't matter if you're Catholic, atheist, Muslim, Hindu. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your gender or how you identify. What matters is your lived experience as an invisible. So the acceptance is intentional. If it's a universal issue, then the acceptance needs to be universal. And that's what we really push for. And that's really kind of a core for Invisible No More. All that's required to be here is to be struggling with something. And I used to say a diagnosis, but after talking these last few weeks and going over the diagnosis stuff with Dr. Leak and hearing him talk and hearing Jose talk and hearing Katie talk, you know, it's difficult to get a diagnosis. Doc says it can take up to 5 years for people to get a diagnosis, people in the invisible community to get a diagnosis. So if you're not diagnosed yet, but if you're dealing with chronic pain or chronic illness or mental health struggles, but you don't have that official diagnosis, don't worry. Unfortunately, you're still a card-carrying member of this beautiful community. Because see, what connects us is shared experience. There's something about living in a body that doesn't cooperate, that translates across all conditions, translates across all backgrounds, all differences. But in Invisible No More, we set aside those personal differences and focus on the one thing that we all recognize. And that's lived experience. See, we need each other. We need people that understand. So like I have some great friends and I won't message them on WhatsApp or text message or on social media for weeks. But after I get to about 10 days out of the blue, somebody will message me. Simple question. How you doing? And if you're against foul language, please plug your ears, because my answer 9 times out of 10, if I'm in a bad spot, is fucking. Kevin did the bleep for us, but that's it. That's what I'll type is F and peachy, because the person that sent that text, they don't need to know that it's the neuropathy in my feet, like a blowtorch that has been turned on constantly for the last 72 hours. They don't need to know that I'm fighting a migraine again that day. They don't need to know that mentally I'm in it. That a simple answer for me, 2 words, effing peachy, they know that I'm struggling. And that's what you get when you find a community where you're seen, you're heard, you're loved, and you're not alone. I don't have to type a 72-line text message to explain what's going on or where I'm at. Because I know the person that's checking on me, or the person that when I post something on TikTok or Instagram, they see it and they get it. Because they know that I get it when they do the exact same thing. When I text them, because I haven't heard from them in a week, and say, how you doing? And they reply back, F and peachy, I know they're struggling. And we can offer ourselves to see how we can help, or can we even help? Or do you just need to vent? You want me to call you so you can verbally just vomit it all up? Here, I got time. That's what this community can do. So today's story, these guests we have lined up tonight, is really about what happens when this invisible community gets to be taken offline and in person. And it's freaking incredible. Dr. Leek has taken the leash off, actually. If you notice, I'm actually sitting in Dr. Leek's chair behind his desk. I told Kevin I feel smarter just sitting here tonight.
It's a good look for you. It's a really good look.
I was educated. They didn't let me get off the sofa, off the futon. I just didn't give them a choice. I messaged Kevin last night. I'm like, dude, I'm taking the desk and the chair, but he's taking the leash off. So we can talk about a whole lot of different things now, and it's great. But we're going to still follow. I love how we set it up, like something called a belief violated and a truth, right? So we're going to violate a belief tonight, and we're going to get rid of that bad belief, something that's not true, but everybody believes it, and we're going to replace it with a truth. So tonight's belief violated, simply, you are alone.
Let's violate it.
We're going to violate that. We're going to shatter it tonight. We're going to replace it with the truth that you're not alone.
And fitting for the topic, community.
That's it.
I love it.
That's it. See, it takes a community. Tonight we're going to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention in the chronic illness and conversation. Community is meaningful and inclusive. That's what we're all about. I do want to talk about, though, these things that we've been able to accomplish with Dr. Leek and with Jose and with Katie. Like I was on Katie's live last night when she politely, delicately, with love and hugs and affirmation, destroyed me for eating 8 burritos inside 4 days. Right? She was great. But we've had a chance to pick doctors' brains. We've had chances to pick a guy who's been on the athletic training side and the physical therapy side of a Major League Baseball team for decades. We've gotten to pick the brains of a dietitian, a registered dietitian, to understand how our diet could actually, if we can change it, how we can just get our body in a better shape, right? We've been able to, alongside Dr. Leek and Jose and Katie, we've been able to challenge long-standing beliefs about pain management, about invisible management, about chronic illness or mental health struggle management. And we've been providing language that I hope to God we've gotten across, that we've been able to validate a lot of people's experiences. I've been working hard on these Thursday nights these last several weeks trying to do that, to give so many examples so somebody out there who's new will say, yeah, that's me. But like I said, he took the leash off. Oh, and by the way, the shirt tonight, we have this really cool thing, and I'm going to ask Kate about it, so hopefully she can give us some more information. It's about kind of like invisible kindness.
Hang on, what does that say? My therapist?
My therapist gave up. See, I have this thing for raccoons, right? A lot of people know I love raccoons. If I could have a pet raccoon, I would do it. So in the mail the other day, I go out and there's a big old package in there, and it's a shirt that says "My therapist gave up."
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this was invisible random acts of kindness, right?
Awesome.
So by working with these providers as patients, as invisibles, we've got clinical insights on why decisions are made, how they're made, and how basically this is kind of like my way of life. If we're going to play the game, we have to know the rules. And in the last 4 or 5 weeks with Dr. Leek, with Jose, with Katie, we've learned the rules. And that gives us so much more freedom because I live in the gray area where the rules are. I'm not breaking a rule. Am I following it to the letter? Maybe not. But if we know the rules, we know what the expectations are. We know how to get what we need.
By bending them just a little.
Just a little. When we were in Vegas running the homeless outreach, I studied the local laws, ordinances, and everything. And the cops would come up and we're going to arrest you. And I would ask them to cite the ordinance number because they couldn't. But they didn't think we knew. It's the same thing with pain management. Same thing with dealing with chronic illnesses, mental health struggles. If we know the rules, we can do better. And that's what they provided us. We've been able to, if we can take what they've taught us, we can get a little bit of control, hopefully, back into our own care. One last thing in community, when we became invisible, we didn't just lose our health. We lost the version of our life that we thought we could count on. And that counting on was so many connections, friends, coworkers, spouses. Again, we lost the people who couldn't adjust when our pace changed. That is a direct quote from Jennifer. Producer Jennifer, if you don't know Jennifer, that's another person I'd hope everybody can meet. Jennifer works her tail off to help produce these things, these Thursday Night Lives, and everything else that I do. She sat down with our 2 guests and spoke on the phone. The one conversation was over 2 hours to get information for tonight's live. And then she did a presentation, and her and I worked together on this to tweak it for tonight. So Jennifer, if you're here tonight, please wave your hand, say hey, or say something. Say, this is me, because you deserve a bigger call out than I do.
And thank you for your due diligence and time.
She is incredible. God, I would be lost without Jennifer. What I love about Jennifer, before we get any further, but before I get them on here, Jennifer knows that I struggle. Even though I'm in the educated chair tonight, I can't do words that have more than 3 syllables. I just can't. So what does Jennifer do? I'm not sure if this will show up on camera. She took Kate's diagnoses, and then she put them over here, and then over here she spelled them out phonetically for me.
How thorough is that? I love it.
So, when we get to Kate, one of hers is postural orthorhestic tachycardia syndrome. No idea. So
I'm telling you, I would butcher that way more than you without that.
Over
help.
here, it says posterior orthorhestic. I still can't pronounce it. But anyway, she tried, okay?
Oh, that's more than trying. That's doing.
She tried. Gastroparesis. She did it at paresis. It's over here, paresis. See, I would have butchered that.
Right.
So anyway, y'all thank Jennifer. She's a rock star. So let's get him on here, because I want people to understand that Invisible No More isn't me. It's not Amy. It's not any lives we do. It's the community that comes together for the lives, for the comments, or for the views on our social media posts, that we can help each other figure out how to have a better quality of life. And at the very minimum, be there for us when we're struggling. It's every religion, every orientation, every political view, every lived experience. If illness doesn't and pain doesn't discriminate, then the community that loves it and supports it shouldn't discriminate either. With Invisible No More, you become a part of a community that accepts you for who you are. And unlike the people that we lose, we meet you at your own pace. See, we value inclusivity. See, there's a 3-syllable word that I butchered right there, right? Sorry. So today's story is about what happens when that kind of community comes into real life. Kevin,
Yes, sir.
we have two guests. We have Kate and Leslie on a Zoom.
Kate, Leslie, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think I hear Kate. Leslie,
hear
can
Kate.
you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, welcome to tonight's live. You are live.
And here we are.
Thank you.
Good evening, folks. So for the folks at home that don't know,
Hey, Katie.
can you say your name and who you are? And then I have some questions for each of you.
I'm Kate. Yeah. Kate Bakes 21, I think, on TikTok.
On TikTok.
20.
All right. I am Leslie at Les Haynes 00BHP
On TikTok. So Kate,
on TikTok.
as mentioned, Miss Jennifer gave me like a list here of things. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, that postural one that I still can't pronounce, even though she spelled it out for me. Mast cell activation syndrome, gastroparesis, and median arcuate ligament syndrome.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
Close enough.
Close enough?
Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Okay, well, you know I tried.
I know you said. I know.
So, when we were invited to come on tonight to talk about what we're going to talk about that involves Teddy,
Yeah.
what made it worth you to even do it?
I think it's important that people know there's more than just medical help out there in the community. As far as like, you don't just have to ask for help with medical issues or questions regarding diagnosis or anything like that. There's support in other ways out there. That's available.
Awesome. And Miss Leslie, for your diagnosis, says I have failed cervical fusion. I have complex
Yeah.
sciatica. I have
Yes.
Hashimoto's and bipolar
Yeah.
disorder. Is that what I have?
Yes, sir. That's what you have. That's what I have.
So with Kate, I don't have any really diagnoses that match up a lot with Kate, but with you, I do. Cervical fusion issues, sciatica, that you and I, we can talk pain about that all night long. So that much
Yeah.
I'm good on. When you were invited to do this episode, what made you feel like it was worth doing?
The story that we have here is about humans and community. And those two things are very important to me. I spent my career with humans and the community, and it's something very near and dear to my heart. I got to know Kate a little bit with our gratitude chain and a little bit in our community, and that's where it all started.
I've said this before and I described it this way a lot of times. It's crazy what a simple little app from China can actually do.
Yes.
Because Kate, you're on one side of the country in Virginia, right?
Yep.
And Leslie, you're on the complete other side in Sacramento or around Sacramento, right? Yet,
Yes.
through the community that has been built around Invisible, you guys got to at least know each other's names and know a little bit about each other's stories, right? And become friends, right?
Yes.
So, just a general background question. Kate, can you give us a little background on yourself outside your illness? Like, I know that
Yeah.
you were like a world-class vet tech, and when my dogs would get sick, I would send WhatsApp messages to Kate. Why are they throwing up? You know, and stuff like that.
When they
I love to bake and cook, which is ironic. But I have I live on the water. I love being by the water. Um, I've always had animals. This was the first time in my life I didn't have a dog. I love going to concerts. That's the one thing I will use all of my energy on is a concert night. It's like I'll spend 3 days in bed just to go to the concert a couple times a year. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my, I don't know.
You took your folks to a Mannheim Steamroller for Christmas, didn't you?
Yeah, at that point, I was discharged to hospice. My dad has ALS. We've always talked about doing a Christmas show with either Trans-Siberian or Mannheim. And I was like, what the hell? Buy the tickets. Why not?
And you ended up with a drumstick and a signed,
That's cool.
Yeah.
like drumhead, I think was it too?
I have a drum head signed by the band, a program signed by the band, and the practice sticks.
Yeah. So
That's
awesome.
tight.
So awesome. And Leslie, when in your outside of invisible stuff, you have a piece of my heart because of what you were doing, and that's working with the homeless out in California, right?
I am a behavioral health therapist, and my focus was on wellness, addiction, and homelessness. And I spent a lot of time helping the addicted on the street.
And as much as I love my homeless family in Vegas, it's a problem, and
Yes.
and it can be, for me, it was the most memorable, positive experiences of my life, and at the same time, 10 minutes later, could be a soul crushing experience as well. And so,
Yeah.
and so you have a piece of me inside of you, but for what you used to do, it's just a beautiful
Thank
thing.
you.
It really is. So before we bring Teddy, how did you even connect? Was it like during a live, or because I know, Kate, we had you on an Invisible where you shared your story one night. I remember that. Was it that live, or was it a different live or something?
How we talked was we were in the same gratitude chain by text so there's a gratitude chain we're in every day where like it originally was designed that you say what you're grateful for every day.
Mhm.
But I think it's kind of changed to if somebody's having a bad day, there's support, but there's always this, there's good days and bad days, and we're there no matter what in that group chat.
Yep.
I think we started talking more this fall, winter-ish. We both went through a similar life event where at the beginning of October, I had to end my career as a vet tech of 12 years. We knew I was declining for a while, but it came as a sudden stop date. And I'd been at that practice on and off for 10 years. And then we just kind of had Leslie stop working at the end of this year. And we kind of just had how do we leave our clients? How do we leave this place we've been so long? And how do we adjust to a life that's not working type thing?
Right.
Situation. And see, that's when I talk about community and invisible, it's not always about illness, y'all. It's about these life-changing events, right? And Kate's was based on health. Leslie's was a totally different reason and stuff. Nothing that Leslie did anything wrong. But at the same time, they both were put in the same position. It's like something that was such a big chunk of them. Really? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
That you would consider what you did as a part of you. And you wake up, you go to bed one night, and then you wake up the next morning, and that chunk is gone. And
Right.
they were able, through this crazy group, Invisible, to recognize that in each other and start talking a little bit more and lean on each other, right? Going through that hard time, because that's not
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
No.
And I love that attitude, or that concept of a gratitude chain, because gratitude brings you more when you're grateful for what you have or what you're going through or just where you are in life.
Right.
That's pretty awesome.
Right. And we can set those up, y'all. If you're interested in doing that, message me, message Kate or Leslie on TikTok, message Jennifer on TikTok. Is it? It's an information at Invisible. Is that the right Gmail?
invisiblecommunity@gmail.com.
Just invisiblecommunity@gmail.com. So if you send
Oh,
that,
no, sorry. Invisible No More Community@gmail.com. I can put it in the chat.
okay, if you'll do that for me, because that email is monitored a lot better than my email is. So either Kate or Jennifer, somebody will get back to you ASAP. And when we can get you set up in a gratitude group. And I think what you recognize about these gratitude groups, like Kate kind of mentioned before, it's not just about things we're grateful for every day. They're great places just to verbally vomit and just type in,
Yeah.
I had a crappy doctor's appointment today, and share that, because my lived experience for me, and the more invisibles I talk to, it's proven that it's not just me. If we don't get this negative stuff out of us, it's going to kill, it's going to poison us. We have to get it out. And in these small, grateful type groups where there's like 5, 6, 7 people, maybe max, you develop the relationships and the trust to where things were shared in some of these groups that probably spouses and partners don't even know. Especially if the partner or spouse doesn't totally get what we're going through. Because
It's about the partner or spouse. Sometimes it's about your partner or spouse, and you're like driving me up a wall. Like, that's
yeah.
You have to say that.
Well, it's true. As my partner spouse is probably watching, going, now I'm going to grab his phone and go through his gratitude chat. So you guys have been talking, and you're developing this relationship, and we have East Coast, West Coast, 3-hour time difference, right? But everybody gets insomnia, and nobody can sleep in the middle of the night. And so we're talking at all the times. And then Kate, you went through some just hellacious hospitalizations. Y'all, the fact that Kate is still here alive is incredible. By the different hospitals, misabuse and mistreated. The fact that you're here still alive, was it a pelican that attacked you? Is that what it was when you were a vet tech?
I was attacking it today.
So she has some great stories that she needs to share. She shared them on that live back then, and she needs to share them again. But you found out once you got out, and I think they released you to hospice, and then and then you found out that you had an opportunity to possibly get a service dog.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of said, hey, I think I have a line in the service. Instead of waiting like 12 to 18 months, that it could happen within 2 months. And you're like, I need to go to California so I can get this thing. And you put that out there, and out of nowhere, what happened?
Leslie, so there's I'll just go the timeline. Sorry. There's so this fall, I had a horrible country song happen where within 3 days, my dog died of 8 years. I ended my career, and I had my feeding tube placed in 3 days.
That is a horrible country song.
That's a lot.
And then 2 weeks later, I was hospitalized for a month for issues with my feeding tube. It was pulled. They discharged me to hospice because of some really stupid bureaucratic crap. Found a way around that. My dog had died. My dad has ALS. So I need to remain independent. I'm having more and more health issues with mobility and stuff. So we've been talking about a service dog for like the last year or so. I applied on December 23rd online to a trainer. There's 3 I'd been looking at. I applied to one. And on Christmas Eve, I got a phone call at noon saying he had a dog available this spring. That was a good match for what I needed. When I had that, I was dealing with details with figuring out, finances and, whether I could even get it and doctor's letters and all that and what it needed. But I put in the gratitude chain, hey, I've got this dog and he's in Sacramento. I think I'm making a trip out there this spring. And immediately Leslie jumped in and was like, hey, I'm in Sacramento. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I've mailed something to you before. Forgot about that. But yes, that's kind of how that started. The chain. And then I think that was like first or second week in January.
Yes.
Now the second week, like middle of February is when I went to go get the boy.
To go get the boy, because
Yeah.
there's a whole lot of logistics you have to get lined up as well, not just the financial aspect of it, but hotels and cars and transportation and what do we do and where can I go eat and all that kind of stuff as well, right?
Yeah, Leslie helped me find hotels or figure out what hotels were safe. Figure out,
I didn't
you
even
know,
think about that, but that's true.
where because I need a longer stay hotel because I have to have a full size fridge that has temperature control. I'm reliant on TPN for nutrition, so
Can you explain TPN real quick?
total peritoneal nutrition. I eat through my heart, so my food is given through a central line into my bloodstream. Is how I get most of my nutrients and hydration. I eat very little or drink very little by mouth. So arranging that alone and flying with that and getting that scheduled so I can go because it can only be made 8 days at a time was
That
was
is a
fun.
wow.
So that having a backup plan, she was a contact for me, and I had somebody coming with me. Alex flew out with me, and then yeah, it was amazing to have help with the logistics and amazing to have a friend there. Made my family feel better because my mom couldn't go because
Because of your dad and everything else that's going on there.
Yeah.
And so, Leslie, now that you've done all the right things, you volunteered online, and you're like, oh, this would be great, and I could help here. And then it's like, was there like a pardon my French again, like an oh shit moment? Now I have to actually do this stuff, or were you excited? Because this is a kind of a responsibility. You've got Kate and Alex flying out, and then they're going to be looking at you for guidance and for help and stuff.
No second thoughts at all. It was an opportunity, like I said, to first and foremost help. Second of all, show my town that I'm so proud of off. I knew that we could find safe places and take care of things that needed to be taken care of. I knew of good parks for dogs. I knew.
Teddy would
I
not.
knew.
Sorry. Teddy held his bladder
Go
for
ahead.
42 hours.
22 hours?
No, 42.
42 hours? Oh my God. No
I was
way.
gonna
Yeah.
say the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boy refused to pee.
Oof.
Yeah.
Ow.
I was under the impression that Kate was a lot less, she was a lot more helpless than what she really was. Kate is incredibly resourceful and able to take care of herself. I was worried about her. I was worried about Kate getting around town.
Well, rightfully so.
But Kate got in that car. Kate zipped around town. Kate knew where they were going. Okay? Kate took me back to my own house with barely me giving them direction and had never been there before.
Well, y'all,
GPS wonderful.
I think a good way to describe Kate and her attitude towards a lot of things is when she was in that hospital for a month and was not getting any kind of nutrients and was about to get discharged AMA because she couldn't get any help there. I think the quote from her was, instead of just letting go, she's like, I'm living out of spite just to piss him off.
Yeah,
And that,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of the drive that Kate has. Kate is not gonna just take it laying down. And I'm not surprised that she was
No.
chauffeuring you around and getting you to places and stuff like that, because that's just, that's just who she is.
Anyway,
But you guys
there
made
were moments.
you guys made the dog wait 40 hours to go pee.
I did not make him wait.
I mean, come on.
Is that the dog's name, Teddy?
Yeah, the dog's Teddy.
Okay, I'm like, man, what
Yeah.
kind of guy waits for? That's amazing.
there was an ER trip in there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that helped things up a little bit. Yeah.
Because that also happened when you were
Right.
there. You ended up in the ER. On the
Yeah.
trip to go get Teddy, you ended up back in the ER, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About a week
Yeah.
before I went, I was septic in the hospital. I was in the hospital 10 days and discharged 4 days before I went to California. They pulled one of my central lines. They removed my port, thinking that was the source, put in a PIC. And then when I got to California, the site where my port used to be was starting to have issues. So they told me to go to the ER.
So
But
yeah.
Leslie got a panicked call for me. Well, not panicked. It was hey, Leslie, what urgent cares are good in your area? Don't worry, I'm okay. I just need to know what urgent cares I should go to.
I'm sorry.
No, it was prefaced like this. Hi, Leslie. Don't worry, but can you tell me where the nearest urgent care is? Don't be worried.
I'm fine. I'm missing
Yeah.
a leg. It's like the Monty Python, like the Black
Yeah.
Knight, right? Where he's missing his arms and his legs, and he's like, "Come back, I'll bite your kneecaps off. I'm fine. I'm fine."
Right. No, I'm fine. I got myself here, but don't worry. Where do I go?
Ooh.
Yeah. Well,
No.
there's no good way. As an invisible myself, I've never found a good way to like call somebody to say, "Oh, by the way, I'm heading to the emergency room."
Right.
Because even
And don't worry.
even tonight, I made a phone call on the way here, and it's not something that I would normally do. When they answered, they seemed like, "What's wrong?" And I was first things out of my mouth, "Everything's okay right now. Don't worry. I just thought of something I needed to tell you."
Don't worry.
You know.
Right.
So I don't know of any good way to start those conversations, but that's real. Besides
No.
that, okay, I don't think I'm dying, but what's a good hospital that you would recommend
Right.
to make
right.
sure I don't die, right? So, but I drove them crazy because I kept asking for pictures because I'm a visual type of a person. I need to see. And I know I drove Kate crazy on the plane, getting pictures, and Leslie too. I was like, proof of life. Come on, let me see this dog. Prove to me there's an actual dog. And hopefully we can get Teddy on the screen at some point tonight so people can see him. Well, your background's back is whited out.
Yeah,
so,
I know. I was like, where is he? I found him.
So, but I mean, I even got pictures of you in the hospital bed with Teddy in your lap in the hospital bed, right? So, in the
Yes.
emergency room.
He
Yeah.
was popular.
But some good things happened.
Was
Like,
my most important job was to document the whole thing. That's what my job was, to document.
and
It,
you-
it was a lot. My mom appreciated that because she wanted to be here. She was going to figure out how to be here, and I told her she couldn't. So
and that's why having Leslie there was so important, especially for your mom. I mean, please take me out of the picture, but for your mom to get proof in little videos and pictures of you two interacting and getting another person's take on, hey, how are they getting along? Is this going to be a match and stuff like that, right? I couldn't imagine what's going on in a mom's head when their child is thousands of miles away, you know, when you know your child's just came out of the hospital for sepsis for 10 days, the stress level's there, right? As a parent.
Absolutely.
Right. And so that's where, Leslie, you were able to step in as a godsend. See, I think this whole trip is just miraculous. I really do. You know, this started
I do.
through conversations, through an online community, which got to a gratitude chain, which got to, hey, I live here. Come on out. You know, I'll help you figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Because how often does a wait list for a truly well-trained guide dog like this get shortened down to 2 to 3 months? Doesn't happen because the wait list is always so long for these pups. That happens, and then you find out you have somebody in the town where you're going to go pick the dog up that's not just wanting to see you, but be a part of the
Yeah.
whole experience and assist you in however they can.
Man, what a journey, huh?
Right. And you guys got to take this online community and bring it in person, in flesh and blood, and see each other, worry
Yeah.
about each other because they're in the ER, right? But at the same time, get a lot of joy out of being together and hanging out together and seeing the bond with the service dog and Kate get started. And
Yeah.
to me, that's a once in a lifetime thing, that to get to see that, for the community to be as a whole to be part of this experience. Because if the community didn't exist, then Kate wouldn't have found us, and Leslie wouldn't have found us, and then the gratitude chain text group wouldn't have happened. And then while Kate might have gotten the dog eventually, there would have been a ton more obstacles out there in California. And Kate's friend Alex went with them. I went with Kate and was a great assistance as well. I don't want to, Alex, if you're here, I don't want to be discounting you at all, because you were just a true necessity on this trip as well. But at the same time, having a local out there, besides, that's the basic questions. Hey, where's the closest Walmart? Right? Just to get that right away, right? Instead of having to pull out Google Maps to figure it out, right?
That's how we met for the first time, was Walmart.
That's how what?
Like, actually, because Leslie was like, I'm going to order groceries to the room, or I'm going to pick up groceries the day I get there to have at the room and everything, and snacks and, the little stuff you don't want to pack. And she's like, I'll get it. I'm like, with my allergies and everything, I'm so brand specific. It's just easier for me to do it. So I was like, Alex and I placed a Walmart pickup order at the airport. And then Leslie's like, please let me go pick that up for you. So Leslie and I are both morning people. She went the next morning, picked it up at 8 a.m. and opened the hotel room door. And Alex opened the hotel room door. And I think it was Alex went to say hi. And she's like, we don't say hi, we hug, or something like
Awesome.
that was what happened.
Yeah.
And then I walk out because I was in the bathroom, and, we hug immediately. And then
How are there not tears? I'm sorry, that's just me, because I'm just that kind of
That
person.
was hard. That was the hard one.
it was hard.
You
It was
know,
hard.
because it's finally, it's like a realization. I mean, Kate, when you landed and you get to the hotel room, it's a realization, holy crap, this is actually happening. And then when she shows up at your door with
Yeah.
just simple groceries from Walmart, it's like, holy crap, this really is happening. This really is going to be going on,
Yeah. And then she was the one who wanted me to meet my dog 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw the first look, saw everything.
About the dog,
Yeah, I'm curious as to that too.
what about him?
The dog.
Everybody wants to see the dog.
Right. What's his name again?
Teddy.
Teddy. There we
Teddy
go.
has his own Instagram now.
He does have his own Instagram. Can you put that in the chat when you get a chance, please?
Yeah.
And we're going to take a vote. I'm voting for a lime green mohawk down his head. Just the head. We don't have to go down the back. Just the head. And I'm being shot down on that.
Well, we got to know what kind of dog it is first.
Oh, he's a golden.
Okay.
He's a
okay.
golden. He's a golden. So
You're going
He's a little
lime
more on the
green.
red golden side.
I'm gonna go with his own natural cut. She's just gonna moose it.
but I want him to have independence. I want him to have his own little
His
thing.
own groove.
His own groove. I want him.
His own groove.
Yeah, I want him.
He's got his own.
Waking.
He's 16 months.
Yes, he's got an attitude already. He's a teenager right now. I want him waking up Kate in the morning playing, the Sex Pistols at like an 11 out of a 10 volume level. That's what I want.
Did he explain to you what happened the first night I had him? I think I told you. But I have a problem where my glucose sometimes drops low and I don't know, and I don't wake up
Oh,
because it gets so low. And normally my mom has to call me or like really aggressively try to get me up. That day, my Dexcom was reading too low to read,
oh,
which means
wow.
it was below 40 at that point. And I didn't wake up. I could feel him nudging me and didn't get it, didn't know what was going on. And he smacked my face so hard. I woke right on up.
Wow.
Yeah.
You did tell me that on one of the days out there early, he was being just a PIA, a pain in the butt, and he was
Yeah.
pestering you, and he wouldn't stop. Was that the day that you ended up in the ER, or was
Yeah.
that yeah, it was. So
Yeah.
it's been like you guys have been together 2 to 3 days, and he's already picking up on signs from you that things aren't going well.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Leslie watched him alert the first. You can't teach a dog to alert to heart rate. That's not something you can teach. They either do it or they don't naturally. He does, luckily. And she watched him. I don't remember where we were, but we were out and he kept bumping my hand, just continuously nosing my hand. And I'm like, what? And I looked down, I'm like, oh, my heart rate's like 150. Probably should sit down now.
Yeah.
So
Was it at the museum?
yeah.
That was
Sorry?
happening at the museum.
At the
Was it
museum?
at the museum? Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. So
Well-
yeah, he figured it out pretty quickly.
and
He
you,
does tell now though.
and you deal with POTS, and so that's a big issue with POTS is your heart rate, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My heart rate. I have problems with my heart rate, my blood pressure, and then my blood glucose, but that's better managed. I have that better managed.
And
But,
so within 3 or 4 days, he's already picking up on the heart rate issue.
yeah.
I can't imagine how in 6 months how you guys are going to work as a team. How much closer you'll be as a team in 6 months of him. I mean, I don't want you to be sick. You know that, right? I don't want you to have
Yeah,
POTS flares.
I
I
know.
don't want you to be back in the hospital. God forbid. I want you as healthy and happy as you can be. But in 6 months, as he gets more of the nuances figured out with you, how, it's going to go from Pinky and the Brain to Sam and Frodo, right?
Pretty
You're
much.
Gonna,
Right.
you're gonna have go from the comical, you're driving me nuts, leave me alone, to hey, maybe we need to watch out what's going on here, and I think it's just going to be incredible. I don't know if I mentioned this before. Both of you have done incredible things for Invisible No More. Like on a lot of lives, if I know that we're having somebody come on that's dealt with some mental health issues, depression or bipolar and stuff, one of my first go-tos is I message Leslie and I'm like, hey, this is a topic that's going to be coming up. Can you, what is this? Or can you help me understand it? And when I've needed other things, I've reached out to Kate. It's like, I don't understand this illness. What can you figure out what's going on? Both of you have been invaluable behind the scenes in a lot of different ways like that. But I don't want people to walk away from tonight thinking you have to volunteer with Invisible to have opportunities with community with Invisible. Can you vouch for me on that? Because that's not a requirement by any means at all.
No. Just be here. Just be here. That's all you have to do. I came into this TikTok thing looking for information only. I wasn't looking for a friend. I wasn't looking for a community. I was looking for information. And what I found were humans that had the same illnesses and conditions, thoughts, and I was included in this community right off the bat. I had looked around at other communities and I did not like what I saw and heard. I think we kind of know whose community that might be.
Yeah.
But there are many communities out there that are not doing what we're doing. It's all inclusive, which
Yes.
is where we need to be. All inclusive.
It is all inclusive, and that's
So-
been like a heartbeat of all of this. Again, on previous lives and in my videos or all my posts on social media, I avoid politics. If you want to talk politics with me, message me offline. We can talk politics. I don't hide that. I don't hide my religion because I want to pick fights. I do that because I want everybody to feel comfortable, whether if you are a devout something, Baptist, Christian, Catholic, Muslim, Hindu, I'll support you in every bit of that because I love you. If you're a guy, you're a girl, I'll support you You know, how many times have we talked
Right.
about the disparity in healthcare between women and men? We did the whole bias
Oh,
project, right? Because I care about
right.
those that identify as female in our community, because how they get treated in healthcare, because it's so terrible. If you
Yeah.
are gay, straight, part of the LGBTQ plus community, if you identify as a non-binary, I I don't want to say I don't care, because I do care, because I love you as a human and I want to be by your side. But when it comes to invisible, that's you're just
That's
bringing an extra
not,
slice to the party because you've experienced things different, possibly. But that's not a reason to
yeah.
exclude anybody, from politics to gender to
You may have
identity.
something for me. Yeah. You may have something for me that I could benefit from. I don't care who you are.
I
I
mean,
care.
Leslie and I on paper look completely different than we do in person.
Mhm.
As far as like the group, like what we've done in our past, what we've talked about, what we believe, what we identify as, what's important to us looks very different on paper if we were to write it down than we are as people.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So,
No,
you know,
it
never
makes
any question about acceptance. There was never any, Leslie's, I'm in my mid 30s. Leslie's older than that, single. I'm a single, non-binary female, um, you know, vet tech, not high educated job, that sort of thing.
right.
Um, whereas far as, but we do have a lot of similarities
But
with,
you have the shared lived invisible experiences. So you
yeah,
guys have insight to each
Right.
other that, as Kevin puts it, invisibles would never, ever comprehend or understand.
right.
Right.
And I would say
Yes.
anybody who wants to, that thinks they have to be like super involved, they don't. You just have to find the people that you click with.
Hmm.
And it's not going to
Mm.
always be the people you think it would be. Like Jennifer and I
Right.
are pretty close, but in real life, Jennifer and I would never have met.
No,
We wouldn't have met in any other online circle.
no.
It just,
Mm-mm.
our lives are so very different.
Well, it's like me and
Right.
myself and Amy, right? Like Amy could be my daughter and age wise,
Mhm.
right? She's young, married, and has all these diagnoses and issues she struggles with that I wouldn't, POTS. I wouldn't know how to deal with it if I got diagnosed tomorrow with POTS, right? But at the same time, and I'm so much older than she is, but at the same time, when we do our lives, it works because, unfortunately for her, at her young age, she's walked through the same valleys that I've walked through as an old dude, right? By being mistreated and gaslit by doctors or family members not getting it and things like that. And that there's very, very, very few things that consciously were set in stone at the very beginning of Invisible. Once I did that video in that van 2+ years ago, and things started taking off, that was one of the very few concrete things that was decided in my own brain at that time. We are inclusive, because it doesn't,
Mhm.
while your gender experience or your political experience is important to you and it's valuable, and I want to talk to you about it so I can learn more. What's important inside Invisible is your lived experience. So whether it's an official
Right.
diagnosis or it's not an official diagnosis, it doesn't matter either. It's the shared experiences. It's like I said earlier, somebody can send me a text, "Hey, you okay?" And it's 2 words, F and peachy, instead of 72
Mm-hmm.
sentences to explain what's going on in my life,
Right.
right? Because the other descriptors, Republican, Democrat, gay, straight, whatever, they help define us, but in the community, it's your lived experience.
Pain don't care.
Pain don't
Pain
care.
don't
It's-
care. Pain is
No.
probably one of the more inclusive
Yeah.
things out there as well.
I don't know if we lost everything, but okay, it just came back on. So, yeah, it's like Jennifer had written earlier where I read it. If everything's universal, oh, I'm black on YouTube now. Hope it just came back. If if pain is universal, then the community needs to be universal, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, but we got in a little weeds there. Oof. I got on my stump. That's what happens when they give me the educated chair and table.
You look
tell
good.
You know, they make me start thinking like I know what I'm talking about. So, because I don't, y'all know that I'm only licensed to drive a vehicle in the state of Texas. That's the only license they'll give me. So, trying to think, what else? What haven't we touched on?
Victories.
I know we need to do victories. We got to get to victories soon. But did I miss anything?
We're missing Teddy.
Yeah, did you find him? Can you get him to show up, set up
I
next to you,
can.
Kate?
I can. Let me just. Sorry,
Where
guys.
is Teddy? Teddy.
I had to flip the camera.
That's
There we
fine.
go.
Do what you
It's
got to
me.
do.
White House. I don't know. There it is. There. I don't know how to get rid of the background. Let's see. And then it's not showing because the background
Yes.
is.
Then you
Kevin
need to get on social media.
Use
right
your
away.
front camera again. Maybe that works.
did.
There we go. Yeah, okay. I almost saw him.
There we go. I can't see him, but. Yeah, it's not picking him up because it's not recognizing it.
Oh, can you take your phone back there to him?
Yeah, oh, it's. Let's see. Sorry.
It's all right.
I'm also connected.
If
to a-
anybody has, while we're doing this, if
There he is.
anybody has any questions, let us know. Start typing them in the comments before we get to the
Okay.
victories.
Okay, there's little
Oh my
Teddy.
gosh, there he is.
There's the boy.
What's up, big guy?
As the boy, he so needs the green mohawk.
Here you go. Oh, don't.
Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness.
He's like, you need rescuing? What are we doing?
No, no, no. No, do not get him wound up.
He is like 16 or 18 months old. He is a puppy. I guess once you get him started, good luck shutting him off until he's decided that he's done. So,
Yeah.
but that is Teddy.
Yeah.
That's the soon to be golden retriever that has a green mohawk.
I'll give you his groomer's phone number.
Yeah,
You can discuss it with her.
I can discuss it with her. I will. You know, I will. You know. So does anybody have questions for Kate or Leslie before we get into victories? Because I guess the point is give it a shot. The hardest part is showing up. Sometimes you may have to put yourself out there. If you're on a live or if you see somebody's social media post and they see I'm struggling, just say, hey, I've lived that. I'm sorry it's so bad for you right now. Just simple as that. And you're doing two things. You're letting them know that you understand, and you're letting them know they're not alone. And for me, that was such a big deal when I found out that I wasn't alone in fighting all of this stuff, that other people have experienced it.
I've definitely got a question for him.
Sure.
Hey, Kate, Kevin here.
Yeah.
So I'm still back on the gratitude session that you guys have. What time frame? Because I was looking in the chat, and I'm totally with Jennifer on this. Like, this was divine timing on all things. What time frame would you say was from the gratitude session to when you actually reached out to Leslie? I don't know if you actually reached out to her, or if you put it online, and how long would you say that took?
Gratitude thing, I think we were in probably 6 months, 8 months, maybe.
So you met her within that time frame.
The beginning of the year. Yeah. So we've been in the same group chat probably about 6 to 8 months, maybe longer.
Right.
We talk daily. There's probably 20, 30 messages in that thing a day.
Yeah.
And then I didn't ask for help. I just said, hey, I guess I'm flying to California sometime this spring.
Right. That's
And then
really
it was
awesome. That is really awesome.
Yeah.
The power of a community.
That's it. That's it.
I think that's
You know, we've had this, and the only other thing, one of the other things that comes to mind was a lady had a very rare diagnosis, and she was sharing like a near-death experience that wasn't really related to her diagnosis. But as she was discussing her diagnosis, she kept saying certain parts of the diagnosis, some of the symptoms, and somebody in the chat for that live was like, I feel that. That happens to me. I've experienced that, and it just kept on going. And finally, I was like, hey, well, before we get out of here, you need to send Janelle, the lady that was sharing her story, a message so you two can talk. And it wasn't very long after that, I found out that Janelle had told her some specific tests to get, because that's what it took for her to get her diagnosis finally. And sure enough, very shortly, a few months after that, she messaged me, I got the diagnosis. I actually have this. Like one out of like 50,000 people
I
nationwide
remember that
have it.
story. Right. They
And
shared the same experiences and everything.
that happened because of the live. And it's just like this gratitude group, which was formed because of the community that Invisible has built, got these two together to share such an incredible lived experience in California, a once in a lifetime type of a situation, right? So, trying to see, I'm not seeing a whole lot of questions. So let's do victories, because it's been like an hour and I've taken up everybody's night tonight. And if you're like me and are a chronic pain patient, it sucks to sit for too long. But you two, Kevin, can we keep Kate and Leslie here? Because I want to get them their final thoughts after we do victories.
They're right here. Just giving you the floor.
Don't hang up yet, guys. So if you've had a victory, right? Have you gotten a shower this week? Did you have a good doctor's appointment this week? Did your spouse finally come to you and say, hey, I totally understand what you're living like now? Did you find the car keys that were misplaced? Did you get laundry done since last Thursday? Did you have anything positive? Something that total visibles would not understand or totally, why are you celebrating? Please put that in the comments so we can celebrate you and that victory. You're doing two things. Number one, you're giving yourself a pat on the back for something positive happening, because that can be so rare for us. And number two, you're giving people like me, who was in the ER last weekend with a kidney stone that was using language that I don't think sailors in 72 countries could come up with, because I was in so much pain. I need victories, and I can live through your victories just like so many other of us can do. So if you had a victory, got in a shower or something, please add them to the comments so we can celebrate with you. I think the biggest for me is I survived the hospital and I got decent treatment in the hospital, and I will take that.
Huge.
Because as we know, as chronic pain patients, if you go into an ER quite often, if you tell them you have chronic pain, they just ignore you, because I think we've all have lived through that. So while we wait for some victories, hopefully, Ms. Leslie, can I get your takeaway? Community and Invisible No More, or on the whole experience with Teddy and Kate, or whatever you want to say.
Floor is yours.
The floor is yours.
The whole experience. Gosh. Being on the outside looking in, it probably was one of the highlights of my life. I am 65 years old, and I can tell you that I've had some highlights, but this one was truly amazing. I saw things that people don't get to see. People don't get to see unifications like this that are organic and natural. This became something bigger than the two of us. It involved more people than the two of us. There was another person involved, and this other person was an integral part of it and made the trip much more enjoyable. The presence was definitely made a bigger part of the trip happier.
Awesome.
And I just want to thank Kate. Kate, you let me do something that you didn't have to let me do. But thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God, where's the Kleenex? I'm serious, because that's beautiful.
That is. Oftentimes people have a hard time letting others serve them. And I've heard in those situations that you take away someone else's ability
Joy.
to be right.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. God damn, Leslie, that's powerful. Beautiful. Very well said. Thank you for being
Thank
open
you.
and honest and sharing like that.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Kate.
I am going to bring up something we talked about in the call on Sunday. Was we had all somehow we got on the subject of why we don't ask for help and why it's so hard to ask for help. And then we came up with this analogy of when we talk about masking all the time, right? That you always have this mask on.
Yep.
If asking for help is this giant wall and you're just afraid that by asking for help, somebody's going to take a chisel to that wall and take a piece. And that eventually that wall is just going to crumble because you asked too many times, or you asked the wrong person, or you asked for something big.
Wow.
And that's kind of the thing we came up with the three of us, Jennifer, Leslie, and I, were like, why don't we just always, it's not easy to ask for things. And that's kind of, doesn't have to be that way. It's kind of how I would say. And people who have good intentions will make it very clear versus the very more self-serving.
Yeah. I think that describes it very well. And I think the longer that you're involved or a person's involved with this community, this invisible community, I would hope that they're willing to take a chance with that chisel, right? And ask.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying join the community and then tomorrow say, hey, you can do it, but maybe you feel more comfortable after a little bit of time, and you get to see.
Right.
I have firmly believed that the invisible community is one big group of empaths. We really are, and for better or worse, and we will put others above us.
Yes.
Every single time. Right. But at the same time, we need to be able to ask, though, when we need it, and accept. The accepting is even more, it's just as bad as even asking, because even we have to be willing to accept the help. Doesn't make us a weak person. It just means that we needed some help. God knows I need help. I need help all the time. So, on that note, I want to say thank you very much, Leslie. Thank you very much, Kate. You guys know how important you guys are to me, and you know how much it means to me that you took the time to not only talk with Jennifer for 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, but to talk to me, to myself, and to the community tonight, and help explain why Invisible isn't me, it's not Amy, it's everybody. That this community was built by invisibles for invisibles. The only thing to get your ticket to join the club is to be struggling with some kind of health issue, mental, physical, or to have a diagnosis. And just show up. Show up and participate when you can. If you want more information, Kate, did you get that email address in the comments?
I did. I can put it in again.
Send just a quick email here. I know that the Invisible Random Kindness is still taking people if you want to get involved in that. I know that Jennifer's been working her butt off responding to emails on that. That email address is monitored at least by Kate and Jennifer, so you will get a much quicker response emailing them than if you email me. But if you have questions, email that address. Or if you're more comfortable, mine is keithcpp@gmail.com. I want to say thank you to everyone who spent their time with us tonight. Thank you to Teddy for making an appearance. Thank you to Leslie and for Kate. And until next Thursday, y'all, please, I hope tomorrow's a better day for you. I hope every day is a little bit better. And we will see you next Thursday. Y'all be safe. Peace. See ya. Bye.
Good job, ladies.